going through a classic center-right swing to center-left, because everybody's fed up with the austerity, so everybody's thinking of alternative type of candidates. Secondly, whoever you vote for here in Ireland, what you're doing is you're putting wind in their sails, and you're giving them the ability to win in 2016. So if you're going to vote for mainstream parties, what you're doing is you're empowering them to win in 2016. So I think if
so this
Ireland
is not about the European
change,
elections. This is about the general election. Is that what you're saying?
Well, what I'm saying is this is about the future of Ireland, and who the Irish people vote for in this election empowers those candidates going forward, or their parties, or their philosophy going forward into 2016. So Ireland needs to be really careful about what they're doing, because they're voting for their future, and if they vote for candidates of direct democracy in Ireland, they're voting to put themselves in charge, to be able to overrule the Dáil with citizen-initiated referendum. That's what we stand for.
Didn't you say that you don't care whether you get elected or not in this election?
No, I didn't say that. I said that if I get elected, of course I want to be elected. But if I don't get elected, then what I've accomplished, I've brought the awareness of the citizen-initiated referendum to the Irish people. That'll make the Irish people more sovereign. It'll strengthen their sovereignty, and it'll give them the ability to overrule Irish law that's being created in the Dáil. That's what we're standing
just to explain to people, this citizen-initiated referendum is getting enough people to sign a petition, and therefore something has to go to a referendum. So unpopular laws might be addressed in that way. Now, you're from LA originally. There's a similar system.
Yeah, well, I mean,
there's a similar system in LA.
LA is not from LA, but I lived there for a while. Actually, I lived in Santa Monica and I lived in Malibu.
Okay,
you know.
but LA is almost bust, as close as it can be to bust, so the system doesn't work.
Of course not. I mean, well, the point is everybody's crying about, you know, oh, we're letting the people down, still paying the debts back. You know, I have a universal social charge that I'm paying. You know what? With citizen-initiated referendum, you could overrule the Dáil. That's what we need to work for. So if you bring direct democracy candidates into Europe, it's going to put wind in our sails, and it's going to give us the ability to win in the nationals in 2016.
It sounds attractive, but if you have that system, no unpopular but financially prudent law would ever get passed. Because nobody wants to spend more money on taxes or charges.
Well, they did it in California. They actually kicked out property tax, and what it meant was that the government had to have a much more disciplined financial budget. That's what it did. So politicians don't like to do that because they just like to borrow money and push the problem into the future. So the point is, with citizen-initiated referendum, we could actually hold the Dáil to account.
But has it worked in California?
It's worked in Switzerland. They've had it since 1831. In California, actually, Jerry Brown, a guy I used to work for, who's the current governor of California, just had a referendum on increasing their taxes, and they're finally balancing the budget.
Okay, but it didn't work in California.
Well, it didn't, because politicians just like to borrow money and push the problem into the future. And the last governor couldn't fix it, but Jerry Brown is fixing it.
Okay, but it's all about popularity as opposed to being financially...
No, actually the difference is that in Switzerland, the amount of money you could spend on a referendum, it's not like the children's referendum here where the government can spend more money and outspend the opposition. But in California, it's the same thing. Big business can outspend anybody. But in Switzerland, it's regulated, so you have a much more fair and balanced referendum. A while back, I was actually trying to design a solar energy generation plant. And as I began to look into the feed-in tariffs for Ireland, I noticed that they didn't have one for solar. And photovoltaic technology has greatly advanced. And you could actually make every rooftop in Ireland an energy generation station, which would lessen our dependence on industrial scale wind farms. Well, so you see, what everybody's describing here is a lot of uncertainty, because what we're doing is we're voting for a lot of say one thing, do another politicians, and we've lost control of our country. So through bringing citizen-initiated referendum, a power we had in the first Irish Free State Constitution, removed by W.T. Cosgrave, if we can bring that power back in, we will have the ability to overrule the Dáil, because we don't know what they're going to do. We might have another banking stress test. They might come to us for more money. We better get that back into the Constitution so we can protect ourselves from all this uncertainty.
Okay, what would you say to people who would say to you that you running for the European election, that's just a PR stunt? Really the work that you want to see done will happen in Ireland in the Dáil?
No, this is about Irish sovereignty. You know, we were just talking about being subjects, and I say that the Irish people are sovereign. And when W.T. Cosgrave removed that power of citizen-initiated referendum, we became subjects, because at that point in time we had the ability to gather signatures and overrule the Dáil on laws that were oppressive to our freedom and our happiness. And so we need to get that power back in to the Constitution so that we can overrule the Dáil, because we don't know what they're going to do next.